My name is Danny. I'm from Carmel Ventures, and now we'll talk about QuikBreak, which is completely different than what we've seen so far. So introduce yourself and...
Thank you, Danny. My name's Oran Margulis, and obviously from the accent, I do come here from the United States. QuikBreak was created by myself and my brother Gil, who's right there, and we also have a third co-founder. My brother and I were originally born in Berkeley. We grew up in Palo Alto right here. Years later, moved to New York and did some businesses there. And then we came to Tel Aviv to take advantage of Startup Nation and the amazing technology there. Our third co-founder, Ziv Isaiah, is not here. He's back in Israel working, of course. And for Ziv, he's our CTO, and of course he has the typical Israeli tech story in the Israeli army, doing computers, stuff we can't talk about. In addition, he was one of the original co-founders of Boxy, and I think they were acquired by Samsung. And then also he was CTO of Ginger Software. Ginger Software, I think, recently was acquired by Int'l. So those are the three key co-founders.
Okay, and the crowd wants to know, what is QuikBreak all about?
Okay, the key answer, what is QuikBreak all about? Anyways, for us, one of the instrumental moments was when we teamed up with Robin Kent. Robin Kent is the former CEO and chairman of McCann Erickson Worldwide, the top ad agency, I think in 120 countries. And Robin was very instrumental with us on understanding from the brand/ad agency side what is the biggest pain point that they face in mobile and what is the holy grail that says can't be done. And for brands, their biggest problem is that they really want to know who you are and all about you. Of course, we all know that's a given, but the key element that was really missing was that when anybody comes to any mobile site or mobile app, they don't know your home address. And most people go, okay, why the home address? What's so key about the home address? So when you're able to identify when anyone comes to a mobile site or mobile app, their home address, you're able to tap into the highest level of depth of their actual demographic, psychographic, and consumer buying information. So what happens is, for us, we were able to create the technology without violating privacy issues. I want to just always specify that. That's very important. That we're able to identify someone's home address. And when you have that with their home address, then you can really go into the deepest level of understanding exactly about who that person is, and then micro-target them with a customized and personalized ad or offer.
Okay, so home address, mobile device, advertising technology, a bit of a crowded market, so a lot of players out there. What do you think will be able to make you stand out, right? How are you different, or how are you going to be different going forward?
Well, there's a few different elements that we saw to differentiate ourselves. One was the fact that we saw no one else was able to figure out the home address. That was something that really was a big factor. The second factor that we saw, and this was also through Robin, was we ended up focusing on what's going to pay the most amount of money. And that was focusing on affluent consumers. Affluent consumers, except in Silicon Valley and New York City, which I say is a little exception, is those that make over $100,000 a year household income. Those affluent consumers, there's 62 million here in the United States, 18% of the population. They account for 40% of all the purchasing done here in the United States. They are 6 to 10 times more profitable than the average consumer. And in addition, these affluent consumers, which is really critical, all are on smartphones as well as their tablets. And the big problem has been for brands is that they're not able to really reach them anymore. They're not even on PCs anymore. So for brands, this is their most profitable segment, and they're not really being able to reach them. For us, I just want to add one other thing about the affluence. We actually focused on 4 key industries that wanted to reach those affluents specifically. Those were financial services, travel and leisure, luxury goods, as well as automotive. And the key element that also differentiated us was we were looking at a model that would pay dollars instead of fighting with everyone else that was fighting for cents. Even though our technology can work for everyone, we saw the best model was going after these affluent consumers that the brands wanted to reach and that the brands were willing to pay dollars for.
So you're using the home address on the mobile phone to find these affluent consumers. You're the only company out there doing that? What's the competition look like?
That was one of the things that we tried to go around and do and to see. And that was one of the key elements that we used a different also model. And that was the other thing that we saw was a lot of people were all trying to fight for the same model of, okay, being something for everyone and doing it and profiling and geolocations and all these other models that they work very well, but in the end result, brands still pay cents instead of dollars. The model that we saw, and this was the key element that we talked about, which is why the home address, we saw no one doing that. And we've actually gone out there, we've talked to a lot of key people in the industry, and that was the key element, and that's also where our patent is based on. We have a patent pending on that. We're on fast track, first office action, and that was one of the key elements that we saw.
Differentiated, interesting technology. What's the status of the company? You have a product ready? You're already selling? What's the status of the company?
So for us, the first thing was we did a pilot program, and we partnered, and this is one of the key things, and this is where our real vehicle of reaching these affluents is with mobile publishers. Mobile publishers, there's a lot of them out there. They have a lot of traffic. They have a lot of content, and the revenue that they're currently getting in mobile is very disappointing for them. We partnered directly as a strategic partner with American Media. American Media is headquartered in New York. They have a lot of different publications. They do Men's Fitness, Shape, Radar, OK, National Enquirer. They have a lot of different publications. Their problem was, as we said, is that they weren't able to really generate the revenue that they wanted. And what we were able to do was work very closely with their chief digital officer, his name's Joe Billman, and come up with a model where we're using their exclusive content as a way of getting people to come in, and we use an opt-in permission-based model, that they want that content, and the price that they pay through that content is through an opt-in. When that comes into play, then before they're able to get that content, we're able to do in real time, micro-target them a ad or offer. Now, with American Media, I wanted to add other things as well, that was very critical about the model as well. For them, they were getting cents, even with clicks, and the model that we were able to do is generate dollars, and that was the key element that also differentiated for us. Now, we're not competing. We're not an ad network. We're not trying to compete. They still have their banners. They still have their pop-up. They still have their, I think, Outbrain or Taboola. They're still doing all the other methods. But now they have a method that is actually able to use their existing content, which they couldn't generate revenue off, and now generate a high premium and also go to these brands, especially to reach the affluents, and they now have a tool that able to generate a much higher premium than they were able to do before.
Okay, we're running out of time. Questions on QuikBreak. This is your chance. One question? Oh, there you go. Please.
We worked with American Media on a rev share. With them, I can't disclose the exact detail of what it is, but what we did was, since they have the traffic and they have the content, they have the existing relationship also with the brands and the ad agencies, but it's our technology. So for them, they were very happy, and our technology is an API. It's one line of code, and then it's all handled by us. But from the consumer side, as if they never leave American Media.
Okay. More questions? Someone in the back there. Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the key things, and the data that we're able to do, that is one of the things that the data that we have is also determining, are they the renter or are they the owner? Now, I will say it's a very high disproportionate amount of affluent consumers actually own. So I will say affluents are a very skewed market of when you're talking about renters versus owners. The other thing, and that's the other thing about with our technology as well, is who in that household are you getting? And that was the other thing that we're able to determine. Is it the mother? Is it the father? Is it the teenage child? Is it their servant? So that is also the other thing that we were able to do and determine with our technology.
Okay, I think we're out of time, so Thank you, Oran. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Danny.
Good luck, and QuikBreak's still around if you want to have more conversations.